Hello my fellow angels and demons, welcome to the second video of introducing elemental characters. This time, we're off to talk about the important characters, more specifically, the first group of important characters. Remember, I said that category would be separated in three. Before going into the character introduction, however, context is a bit needed first. Again, I've mentioned this during Cyrus's introduction, but Cyrus used to be in a group called the Elemental Knighthood. It is a group formed of Cyrus and his friends, and lived on through Dark, Stormy, Gerald, and the characters we'll be looking at in this video and the next one. The old group and the new group are now as one, creating a reformed Elemental Knighthood stronger than it ever was before. So today we're looking at the old Elemental Knighthood. Let's dive into it. We'll start off with the second in command, Norman Scrane. He is an earth magic user and would be considered the leader if Cyrus was elsewhere. Born from a wealthy family, he followed in his father's steps and trained to become a knight, alongside his younger brother. He met Cyrus during training, and the three of them became close friends, and eventually became friends with the others as they joined as knights. He is kind and protective, but a bit teasing at times too. Lovable and kind, he's kind of the same dad friend of the group. Yes, he'd totally be the type to make dad jokes if he knew how to. Next off, we have Norman's younger brother, Rasmus Scrane. Rasmus is a fire magic user, and as stated before, he became a knight just like his father and brother. Though, unlike Norman, Rasmus isn't the leader type. Back then, he was very impulsive, hot-headed, and a bully. He teased and messed with a young knight named Soren, whom we'll talk about later, because the boy was younger and smaller than the others. So yeah, Rasmus was quite a jerk back then, not gonna lie. But with Norman and Cyrus's guidance, he grew out of this habit. He still is impulsive and hot-headed, but he is much more respectful and kinder than he was before. He is very expressive and caring despite his tendency to do things first and think of the consequences after. He's a big lovable dork, to put it simply. Next we have Ivy Karen, a nature magic user. She comes from a family of farmers, but the young lady dreamed of becoming a knight. Her family was very supportive, but she still needed to help around the farm. Her brothers and sisters continued on the farm's legacy, while Ivy worked tirelessly in order to enter the Knight Academy, and eventually her dream came true. She met Cyrus, Norman, and Rasmus, and was the first girl to join the group. Ivy is a strong and determined woman. Courageous and stubborn, she won't let anyone get in the way of her duty as royal knight. She is also very playful and likes to prank her friends. She sometimes would put poison ivy on Rasmus's bed, though she knows when to be serious when it's needed. Next in line is Lilith Sky, the light magic user of the group. Before someone says that she looks like my D&D druid, it's actually the other way around. Lilith was created before my D&D character. Anyways, Lilith comes from a wealthy family and was first assigned in the nursing team alongside her childhood friend. While she of course loved her job and the knowledge it provided, she felt like she could do more to help. And so she chose to become a knight, her childhood friend following behind to become one too. During her time as a nurse, however, she met a certain Reaper, and the three of them became good friends, and the Reaper decided to stick around. Lilith and her friends met with Cyrus and the others, and quickly became close friends. Lilith is kind, caring, and lovely. She's the mom friend of the group. But she's also the type of person that becomes very scary when angry. She's very protective of those she loves. Next off we have Aqua, the water magic user of the group and Lilith's childhood friend. Don't say anything about her first name. I wasn't very original as a child. How about we move on? She comes from a modest family, and while her dream was to become a knight, her family surprisingly didn't believe that women should become knights, despite the numerous women who did. Her family raised Aqua to become a nurse, and not wanting to disappoint them, she did. At least she wasn't alone. Lilith was with her. When Lilith decided to become a knight, Aqua was hesitant at first, but her friend managed to convince her to do it no matter what her family would think, and it was liberating for her. She quickly became friends with the others and was known as the sweetheart of the group due to how kind and lovable she was. She's very sweet and optimistic, but knows when to get serious when the situation needs it. Now, remember when I said Rasmus used to bully a young knight? We'll talk about him now. Meet Soren Whirlwind. He's the youngest knight and last one to join the elemental knighthood. Soren comes from a noble family and was raised to become a knight. While he was interested in becoming one, due to his frail-looking body, he wasn't sure if he'd be up to the task. Rasmus's bullying didn't help either. However, Cyrus was very understanding and helpful to him, and the others were also very kind with him. Soren also had a friend, Mary, a maid who was around his age. When given permission, both of them would always play together in the royal garden. Soren back then was very shy and unsure about himself, but with the help of his friends he became happier and more confident. He also became the tallest of the group. However, one day, his friend and beloved Mary died after a horrible accident outside the castle's doors. Soren then became closed off and silent, as if part of him had died. He overcame it all with the help of the elemental knighthood, but he still is serious and not really talkative to this day. Soren is fast, swift, and became a powerful knight. A bit salty at times, but he became someone he's proud of being. Finally, we end up with the last member of the old elemental knighthood, and that person is currently the Lord of Reapers, Henry Callan. In his living life, Henry was a traveler who eventually made his home near valleys and mountains. One snowy night, a young lady knocked upon his door asking for help, as she had nowhere to go and would die out in the cold. Henry took her in, and soon the two fell in love and decided to live together. It didn't last, however, as Henry got struck by an illness called essentia, an illness that feeds off of the person's magic and or life force, and there is no known cure. The lady still worked tirelessly to gather enough money to see a doctor, but Henry died before she could gather enough. She gave him a proper burial, gave him her final, tearful goodbye, and disappeared in the night. Henry began his new life as the new Lord of Reaper in training. He hoped to see his beloved in the afterlife, but he never did. He hoped that she, at least, managed to find love and happiness again. 500 years of training went by slowly, and he was assigned to check up on the Helvel Kingdom, ruled by the Hilton family. Henry then met with the prince, and they both became friends. This is also where he met Aqua and Lilith, whom he quickly became friends with. Lilith reminded him of his lost beloved, and he eventually fell in love with her. Not because of the memories, but he fell in love with Lilith as her own person. The feeling was mutual, though after the years, since Henry officially became Lord of the Reapers, they had to go on their own paths, but their love never faded. He wasn't there during the elemental war that took his friends' lives, and he regrets it deeply. However, he still has his responsibilities to do, and he is the only one fit for the job. Henry's wise, kind, and fair. He truly is a wonderful leader, and while he has duties to perform, he now can visit the elemental knighthood again whenever he wants, and he truly cares for them and the new generation. And that's it for the old group. Next time we'll be looking at the new generation, and get ready, cause it'll get interesting. Well, I hope so at least. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, my fellow angels and demons! Creating a reformed elemental knighthood, stronger than it ever... The old group and the new group are now as... She met Cyrus, Norman, and Rasmus, and was the first... girl to join the group. She felt like she could do more to help, and so she